All right, James Hill Sports with my main man. He is Mr. Willie Simmons. He is the head football coach of the Florida A&M Rattlers. First and foremost, Coach, I hope you and the guys are safe and sound. And how is your spring practice going so far?
Oh, well, spring's been very spirited. We have a lot of guys returning off last year's 9-win team, a lot of momentum, a lot of excitement. And we brought some newcomers to the fold, 11 transfers, one high school young man who's here currently, and they've all done extremely well. And so we're 10 practices in, but again, a lot of progress, still a lot of work to do, but I've been pleased so far with what we've been able to accomplish.
When you look at student athletes and coaches and a football program, some people don't realize that it's more than just the fall football schedule. It's actually a calendar year, and there's different pieces to that. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Right. So, at the start of the new year, we're really thick into recruiting. And so our players are here, just starting school, really kind of getting acclimated back to being in classes. That goes for a few weeks. And then after signing day, we transition into what we call our fourth quarter program, which is a series of early morning workouts used to test our guys' endurance, their mental toughness, their ability to be coached. And then that transitions into spring practice, which we're in right now. And 15 practices stretched out over a 5-week period. And after that, school kind of is wrapping up. So really focus on making sure the guys finish strong in the classroom. And then it goes right to summer conditioning, which is a grueling 2.5-month process between May, June, and July. And that leads us up into training camp, obviously, when the season begins. And so, like you said, this is a year-round process. Gone are the days where guys get to go home for the summer and hang out and then come back for training camp. When they get here in the summer, we tell their parents, go ahead and say your last goodbyes, because this is the last time you'll see them for a long time. But the guys have really embraced it, and they understand the full-time commitment that it takes to be a major college football player.
Coach, you're able to help young men, you usher them into manhood. They're able to walk out of here with an education. They're able to really just become quality human beings. Can you talk about that part of it as a coach and how special it is when a guy says, hey, Coach, I have an education, or I'm moving on to graduate school, or I'm trying to coach like yourself, or I'm actually working out to play on Sundays. Talk a little bit about the gift of giving.
Well, our number one priority, our main goal here is to develop young men, right? Not to just win football games. So whenever we inherit a young man, whether it be from high school or as a transfer, I tell the parents the same message. Our job is to prepare them for the real world, right? And that's more than just a degree. You'll hear that term a lot. Help them get a degree. Well, that's only a small part of it. We want to educate these young men, right? We want to teach them things that are important in life. We want to teach them how to be a great husband one day, how to be a great father, how to be a great church member, a great community advocate. All the things that it takes to be successful as young, men in this society. That's what we're entrusted in doing with these guys. And so my whole program is geared around that, around exposing them to different things, taking them to do community service, educational opportunities like museums and those type things to give us a more well-rounded understanding of who we are, so that again, when we finally hang the cleats up, whether it be their last game as a Rattler or a long, career in the NFL, they want to transition into that next phase seamlessly and smoothly, so that we don't have those lulls that we see a lot of times with former athletes that take them a while to figure out who they truly are outside of football.
Coach, one of the greatest things about the spring football camp and season, if you will, is the spring football game. It's around the corner. We get into April, and everyone will come back to the highest of 7 hills. Can you talk a little bit about the spring game and what you envision?
Well, the annual Orange and Green game is a culmination of our 15 practices. It's an opportunity for, Rattler fans to get their first real preview of what this football team looks like. It's a chance for them to come into Bragg Memorial Stadium and just celebrate a great day, right? We split the teams up. We have a draft, a few days before where the coaches get to select players like a normal NFL draft. And we just have a lot of fun with it. We're going to do something a little bit different this year where we've had members of the Tallahassee, the 220 quarterback club. We had a raffle drawing to see who would be honorary head coaches. And so we'll have 2 members from the 220 club be honorary head coaches for the orange and the green team. And so that's something new that we've implemented this year. Gives them a chance to give a pregame speech, to be on the sideline throughout the game, and just see what a normal game day feels like as a member of this football program. So we're really excited about that, and we're looking forward to seeing the guys get after it in front of probably 10 or so thousand screaming Rattler fans.
Coach, this is a great time to be part of the Famu League. When we look at Bragg Memorial Stadium, we see stadium upgrades. Talk a little bit about the facilities, and again, it's a beautiful thing when you can have a completed stadium with everything you like.
Oh, no question about it. Again, just want to tip my hat to the Blueprint Intergovernmental Agency, for seeing it not robbery to gift our program with $10 million that was needed to upgrade Bragg Memorial Stadium. It's been a pillar in this community for a long time, but it had gone years without significant upgrades. And so to be able to go out, build a new east side last year, which we did, and then come back this year and build a new west side, equipped with a full press box. Again, we'll just continue to brand this place the right way, continue to enhance the game day experience for our fans, for our media, outlets, and then for our coaches to be able to effectively coach the football game. So again, just a great opportunity for us to show everyone what type of program we are, and again, facilities a lot of times is the first thing people see when they come into and take a look at your program. So now that we have renovated stadium, the renovations that we've done inside Gallimore Power Fieldhouse, with the furniture, with the wrappings, with the locker room, all the amenities that our young men have a chance to experience now, we can bring 3, 4, 5-star young men into this place and really show them, what type of program that we have here. And they've been really, really impressed so far.
Coach, the pantheon of greatness around here, and you're part of that legacy. We see some of the gentlemen on the walls, and you're doing this right now. But can you just talk about that tradition and again that legacy every day?
Well, one thing that makes FAMU a special place is its history, and the legacy that you talk about. Walking into a building every day and seeing Jake Gaither, seeing Rudy Hubbard, seeing Ken Riley, players like Willie Gallimore, Bob Hayes, Wally Williams, and some of our all-time greats. It really, really makes you want to dig in every day and give it your all, right? Because you understand that you're part of something bigger than you, and to continue this legacy of greatness that's here at Florida A&M, it takes that same level of commitment that these young men put in during their heyday here at FAMU. Whether it was the 40s, 50s, and 60s with Jake Gaither, the 70s, with Rudy Hubbard, or the 80s with Riley, or the heydays of Billy Joe's days in the late 90s and 2000s, the work, the commitment, the excellence, the sacrifices that have to be put in to make this program what it is something that we're committed to doing as well. So have huge shoes to fill, broad shoulders to stand on, and again, I want to make sure I do my part every day to make the gentlemen proud that have led this program, and to hear my name called in the same breath as them is such a humbling experience, and it's one that I never take lightly.
Coach, another great season just ahead, a great schedule. You go into North Carolina, and then everyone will be clamoring to get down to South Florida and see Coach Prime and Jackson State and FAMU. And again, just another great season ahead, the Swac Part 2. Just talk about moving forward.
Well, great things are happening in the Swac right now. You look at the things that have been done from a recruiting standpoint, with the coaches that have been hired, the excitement surrounding the conference now, the job that the commissioner, Charles McClellan, has done. There's never been a better time to be a member of the Swac. And so we're so excited to be able to enter season 2. We feel like we have a little bit of unfinished business from season 1, 1 point away from being outright conference champions. And so our guys, are reminded of that enough to go to work every day. And, we have, like I said, unfinished business, and we know what's at stake, because in this conference, one loss a lot of times knocks you out of contention. And so again, we want to make sure that we position ourselves to be the best team that we can be come August 27th when we take the field against North Carolina, and then the following week, September 4th, as we try to, get our revenge on Jackson State. And then it doesn't stop there. A grueling 8-week conference schedule that there'll be some tough teams trying to knock us off. So our guys understand what's at stake, but that's why they're going to work every day in the weight room, in the classroom, on the practice fields to make sure that we're the best football team that we can be.
Coach, the Celebration Bowl, every team in the country wants to get there. but at the end of the year, it's only one team from the Swac and one from the MEAC meet in Atlanta for all the marbles. Talk a little bit about the Celebration Bowl and how special that is.
Well, obviously, we have a lot of team goals here. Winning our division, beating all of our natural rivalries, winning the SWAC, and then ultimately, winning the Celebration Bowl and being crowned undisputed Black College National Champions. It's something that we're very, very excited about, being able to go and compete every single day for that. We know that every team in the conference has those same goals. And so I ask the team all the time, what makes us different, right? What separates us from the other 11 teams that want to go to Atlanta and play in the Celebration Bowl? And it's our daily preparation, it's our commitment to excellence, it's the sacrifices that we're willing to make to be the team of destiny. Right? And so, again, that's a part of our ultimate goal, and Rattler Nation wants nothing less than a Celebration Bowl title. We're ready to turn Atlanta upside down. Can imagine what, 70,000 screaming Rattlers will look like in Mercedes-Benz Stadium in late December. But again, we do our part and make it to Atlanta for the Celebration Bowl. The record that was broken last year by Jackson State of South Carolina, I have no doubt that we'll shatter it in grand fashion with every Rattler traveling to Chocolate City to make sure that we show everyone who the real HBCU national champion is.
Coach Simmons, there are rivalries in sports. You look at the Lakers and Celtics. You look at, Boston and the New York Yankees. You look at, for example, the Florida Classic and what your team was able to do last year after 9 seasons. Can you talk about the Florida Classic and how special is that is and why it's such a big deal?
Well, when you look at college football rivalries, you named a few of them, but I'd put the Florida Classic up, against any of them. Just the level of, one, mutual respect that the two institutions have for one another. Even though, we go back and forth about, who's the best and all those things, we both understand what it means to be the only 2 Division I HBCUs in the state of Florida. So again, just what that game means, not only to the city of Orlando and Central Florida, but to this state, to these respective HBCUs, to the economy of the state of Florida. Again, we take it, seriously. And then bragging rights, 365 days of bragging rights are at stake. And so, we finally turned the tide. We finally ended the streak. And so now it's up to us to start our own streak, right? And our guys understand that. So a lot of football to play before then, but we know that our season is made or broken down in Orlando at Campbell World Stadium against that team down south. So again, great seasons that we've had, but it's been dampened by the outcome. 2 or 3 years. So again, we want to make sure that we do our part to keep the smiles of Thanksgiving. The food tastes a lot better Thanksgiving weekend after you've won the Florida Classic. So I enjoy my food, and so does my family. So we want to make sure that we can smile and have fun going to Thanksgiving. But that means winning the Florida Classic, and obviously that means playing good football and preparing to be the best team in Black College.
Coach, in closing, are there any final comments you want to make as we think about Rattlers football and spring football 2022?
Well, again, just so excited about the things that are happening here. We just had Pro Day, earlier this week, and when you look at the fact that 30, 31, and 32 NFL teams showed up to evaluate our young men, just shows the way this program is going. Marquise Bell isn't the only guy that I feel will have a chance to play professional football. He's probably the only one that will get drafted this year, maybe, but again, a lot of guys have positioned themselves to accomplish their ultimate goal of playing pro ball. So it's a testament to our coaches for recruiting quality young men, to our training and medical staff for developing those guys, getting them bigger, faster, and stronger and healthier. Our equipment staff, we're outfitting them with the best that we have to offer. And then the young men themselves for being committed to excellence to go out and put the work in every single day. So again, just where we are as a program, it's a program that young men want to be a part of. And we're getting a lot of attention from high, top flight prospective student athletes. And I don't think Coach Prime at Jackson will be the only one that will be able to pull those 5 stars here, in the near future, because we're looking forward to getting our fair share here on the Heights of Seven Hills as well. So again, get your season tickets if you haven't already. Look forward to a great year, and as always, go Rattlers.
Coach, the spring game, before we know it, it'll be kickoff. Just give the fans a little something on the spring game coming up.
Right, so April 9th, 2 p.m., the annual Orange and Green game. You get your first preview of this 2022 football team. So again, everyone wants to know about the quarterback battle. You'll see those young men on opposite sidelines, going after it. The dark cloud defense. I'm sorry, how good can they be after last year's dominating performance? And I feel they'll be even better this year. So the Rack boys, coming back healthy for the first time in a long time. So just a lot of great things going on within the program right now. These young men are working extremely hard, and again, we'll be a normal game format. So officiating, the Marching 100 obviously was always there playing, and may give a halftime performance. But again, it's going to be a great day. $10 charge to get into the game, and but that'll come with concerts, and some in-game entertainment, so to speak. So again, next Saturday, April 9th, come on out, bring the family, and let's have a grand old day here on the House of Seven Hills in Tallahassee.
Thank you, Coach.
Yes, sir.